To the situation we saw earlier at the press conference, Kristi Noem, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security, after this incident happened, while she was speaking, this is Senator Padilla. He was obviously forcibly removed after he tried to interrupt and barge in, for lack of a better word, into that news conference. He was thrown to the floor. He was temporarily detained, later met with the secretary in a room. We're still waiting to see what came from that. In the meantime, we've just received a statement from Senator Padilla after he was removed there. Senator Padilla is currently in L.A., exercising his duty to perform congressional oversight of the federal government's operations in L.A. and across California. He was in the federal building to receive a briefing and was listening to Secretary Noem's press conference. He tried to ask the secretary a question and was forcibly removed by federal agents, forced to the ground and handcuffed. He's not currently detained, and we are working to get additional information. All right, let's head now to Chad Pergram. He's reporting on all of this for us. Bill Malugin got that cell phone camera footage for us, which we've been showing our audience, Chad. Please do add to what you're learning about this situation.
Yeah, this is rather remarkable. Sometimes they give lawmakers some deference in situations like this. We had a comment here from Chuck Schumer, the Democratic leader. He said he was absolutely sickened by this. He was thundering. He was yelling so loudly in the Senate chamber to see this happen, as he put it, to a United States senator. You also had Ben Ray Lujan, who's a Democratic senator from New Mexico, who is rather soft-spoken and never speaks on the Senate floor. It's very rare. And he was just appalled that more of his colleagues weren't down here talking about this. This
is the Democrats. This is it. Now, what did you notice about this? When you see them forcibly removing him, what do you think is happening here? Because they're pretty aggressive against him. What do you think is actually happening? So, did he try to interrupt? Or did he ask a question? Because they give senators deference. They're elected officials and they're senators. This doesn't look like that's what was happening. I'm just going to go out on a limb. He was berating her on some level, or demanding that she pull back ICE from California, demanding that she do this or do that or do the other, interrupting the press conference. This is what Democrats have become. Yelling banshees. Just doing any and everything. This is like Rashida Tlaib. This is her signature move. I'll just go in, interrupt, and get kicked out. And then my constituents will know I'm fighting for you. It's all performative. All of it. And so they really believe that they are on the right side of this, even though the overwhelming majority are saying, no, you're not. Stop. Now, for those of you who don't know, it has always been my assertion that, you know how they say power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely? I don't believe that. Because I've seen too many people, pastors, who the more power they got, they become even more humble. Okay, I think about somebody like Jack Hayford. Go look him up. Billy Graham. Go look him up. The more power, the more prominent they became, the more humble they became. So I don't believe that to be true. I think power attracts the corrupt. That's what I think is happening. And Democrats are now, they're having to defend the indefensible. Now, take a look at this, because I saw this on TikTok and I think this pretty much explains it.
The people who commit the worst acts aren't the ones who see themselves as evil. It's the ones who are convinced they're good. The ones who believe they're on the right side of history. It's never evil, it's justice. They don't need truth, fairness, or limits. Their belief that they're the good guys gives them permission to do anything. Moral licensing is what happens when someone's self-image as a good person becomes psychological armor. Once that identity is locked in, the brain starts bending reality to protect it. Every action, no matter how dishonest, brutal, or authoritarian, gets reframed as justified. They're not silencing critics, they're protecting democracy. They're not destroying opponents, they're fighting hate. The worse their behavior gets, the harder they double down, because admitting fault would threaten the entire self-image they built, and they'll burn anything to protect that illusion. If you want to control someone, give them a moral identity, then frame your demand as consistent with it. Tell them they're brave, fair, and principled, then push them to act in ways that prove it. Because once someone needs to be the good guy, they'll do anything to avoid looking like the villain, even if that means becoming one.
Even if it becomes becoming one. This is not new to the Democrats. This has been the ethos. This has been the spirit of the Democrat Party since they created the Ku Klux Klan. They have always been this. They have always been these authoritarian, I'm the good guy. And in order to prove I'm the good guy, I'm going to burn you at the stake. In order to prove I'm the good guy, I'm going to hang you. In order to prove I'm the good guy, I'm going to shoot you. In order to prove I'm the good guy, I'm going to burn that police car. That's the Democrats. That's who they are. So it does not surprise me that some senator that you would think would have decorum, they'd have some sort of, I don't know, self-respect. And when you're addressing, Department of Homeland Security secretary, particularly knowing she's a woman and a slight woman at that you would give her deference. Because he's a sitting senator, so he can call a meeting. By the way, they do call a meeting. They actually had a meeting. Apparently, they exchanged numbers, and they'll be talking to one another about what's going on in LA. He could have done that from the outset. That's why I say it was performative. But this is where Democrats are. This is who they are. Gavin Newsom saying that, Tom Homan, you know where I am. I dare you to arrest me. He wants to be arrested because he has to be seen as the victim. A sitting governor wants to be cast as the victim. That's Democrats. This is it. This is who they are. I really believe that the party is going to have to split. And you're going to have these far left wackos and then people that are kind of, middle of the road. And what ends up happening with that, we win. Hands down, everything. So I don't know what to tell you. Okay. My guess is he was berating her on some level instead of just asking a question. Because he could have just had a meeting with her. He's a sitting senator. Dude, of course she's going to take your call. But no. I have to crash the presser, get thrown out, so that gives me some press. And I can't wait to hear, by the way, because I guarantee you somebody's going to report on it, like me, and say how wrong it was. You heard Chuck Schumer is asking for an investigation. They want an investigation in everything. All right, that's it for now. If you like this video, smash the like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.